Welcome into another edition of The Verdict. I'm your host, Sean Brace from PhillyOverture.com, and of course, Fox 29 as well. Got to include that these days. Yeah. All right, over here to my right, because you're watching, right? Adrian Fedke from PhillyOverture.com. How you doing, my friend?
One time, one Fox. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Eagle season's almost over, so maybe not so fantastic, but Christmas is just around the corner, and I'm excited.
Holidays are here.
Yeah.
Got a nice little trip. I'm heading up to New York, upstate New York, the Finger Lakes with the lady, a couple days. And then 2017, I'm getting married, so look out.
Nice, awesome. Yeah.
I'm wearing my high-collar Brian Colangelo shirt. Yep, I know, finest Brian Colangelo collection. All right, but we're going to touch on the 76ers and Nerlens Noel in just a minute. But we're going to kick things off here on this episode of The Verdict with a little Philadelphia Eagles conversation. Tough loss to the Ravens. What was it, 27-26 final score?
Yes.
You know, there's a number of ways we can go into it. Obviously, with only 2 games left now, Eagles officially eliminated from postseason play. Nobody believed, obviously, when they started losing those games. Last time they won was against the Falcons. It's been a long time. I think we all got to focus on Carson Wentz. Obviously Doug Peterson is a conversation. I think they go hand in hand. But Carson Wentz is the focus for these next 2 games. You want to see this guy continue to progress, be a leader out there, get better. He definitely has things to work on in this offseason, that's for sure. And you want him to stay healthy. And the return of Lane Johnson will hopefully help that out. But let's talk about that Ravens performance. Let's talk about the final drive. You're talking about one of the better defenses in all football, top 5 across the board, number 1 against the rush. You're talking about tough conditions. That wind was howling down there, okay? And on top of that, talking about receivers that just stink. Now, Zach Ertz looks good, but Bryce Treggs is out there. I mean, we're still throwing the ball to Nelson Aguilar. I feel for Carson Wentz. But he took the ball with 1:41 from his 43-yard line, drives down the field, puts it on his back in the final seconds, scores a touchdown with 4 seconds to go on the clock. And I asked people this, Adrian, and I don't know if you're one of these guys or not, but does this count as one of those final drives? Is he now off the hump? Is that off the table, or over the hump? Is that now off the table? I realize they didn't get the 2-point conversion. I realize they didn't win, but they finished the drive in the final seconds.
It's a building block. That's what it is. Because we saw it last week, too, against Washington. Let him right down the field, and Matt Tobin, the human turnstile himself, Ryan Kerrigan with the sack, the strip sack, nothing Wentz could do about that. But to see him so calm and poised in that Washington game, followed up again against Baltimore, really good on that last final drive, struggled throughout the entire afternoon, but he comes up clutch when it matters. And we had been waiting for that all season long. Trailing with the ball in your hands, need to get the touchdown. He got the touchdown. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion was no good. Don't blame the Eagles for going for it. You're in that situation. You're out of the playoffs. Just go for the win. But encouraging signs moving forward, I think, for Carson Wentz to get off the schneid.
And for the people out there that said, you should sit Carson Wentz because of how good this defense is. And it's really important to just remain him healthy, keep him healthy for next year. All right, where you at now? He didn't get hurt, no season-ending injury. Look at all that. Look at all the reps that he got, the valuable experience down there, including that 2-point conversion that he did not convert. Let me tell you this, all right? You know darn well if they go for 2 again next year or whatever, maybe it's a goal line spot, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, and they're going to run that same play call, you don't think he's going to pump? You don't think that Carson Wentz is going to pump, jump, and Jordan Matthews had all the end zone to work with. So Carson Wentz is going to pump once, throwing it up, and he could have ran underneath it. Now, obviously, easier said than done. But these are the things that he's going to learn from. So for the people that wanted to sit him, I never got that. I didn't understand it. I was happy with the way Carson went.
The same people that wanted to sit him probably wanted them to not go for the 2-point conversion so he could play extra time in overtime.
Makes no sense.
Doesn't at all.
I love the fact that Doug went for it. I also love this, and I think we're going to move on to the next subject here, next topic. I think this had something to do, a lot more to do with the conditions. He did not want Carson Wentz throwing the ball back there 50, 60 times, so therefore he did stick with the run. But this was the number 1 rushing defense out there, all right? And the Eagles pounded it down their throats. And I know Ryan Matthews, possibly it was his 3rd best career game ever, but I think it was his best game in an Eagles uniform. I gotta give credit to the offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
The offensive line looked strong, and they were dealing with a ton of injuries. Talk a little bit about the offensive line.
They've been getting kind of undermined all season long. When they run the ball consistently, this offensive line shows up to play. We saw it in the Falcons game. We saw it in this game. And when there is an even ratio, I think this week it was 42 pass attempts, 38 run attempts. When they actually stick with the run, they run it pretty decently. They run it pretty well. They run it pretty consistently. And we saw it this week with Ryan Matthews. And, this is a run defense that stymied Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
Zeke,
Yep.
the Rookie of the Year. And to see the Eagles do that, really, really impressive. And, yeah, they're playing musical chairs along the offensive line. Isaac Seumalo filling in for Alan Barbary, who filled in for Haluk Vitae, who filled in for Lane Johnson. That's your fourth right tackle.
That's incredible.
Insane. Yeah. Stefan Wisniewski is your left guard. So they're playing musical chairs. They're improving each week. The run blocking looks really, really good. So when I hear all the people say, well, the offensive line has taken a nosedive since Lane Johnson's been out, I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, I think to that point, I would say as a play caller, and even then, when they're throwing the ball 50 times, maybe that goes against me. But I just feel like it's in the back of your mind. You don't have Lane Johnson there.
Well, as a play caller, they've been running a lot to the left.
Yep.
Behind Jason Peters, get Jason Kelce pulling, get him out on the boundary. They've been doing a lot of that, a lot of chip blocking on the right side. So, say like Zach Ertz stays in the double team, he's not going to go out on a route.
There you go.
And tight ends, you got no wide receivers, so tight ends, you got to get them more involved, and you can't really do that as much when you really can't pass protect. So
not a fan of Lane right now. Don't really care to hear him. Don't really care to see him play either.
That stupid hat on.
Yeah, I just, Lane, do me a favor. Don't even step up to the mic. This has been a tough season because of you.
Yeah, let's move on. Yeah, from the gridiron to the hardwood, Nerlens Noel shenanigans. Says the other night he's not an 8-minute player. What are your thoughts on this whole saga involving the Sixers and Nerlens Noel?
When they drafted Jahlil Okafor, 2015 NBA draft, 3rd overall, we all knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah,
at that point in time, that there was going to be, and this was, this was even before the addition of some other bigs right now on the roster are taking up minutes. And I'm just talking about those three. Embiid, Okafor, and Nerlens. There wasn't enough minutes to go around.
No.
So right then and there, this was happening. I've heard from multiple people. I know we've all heard it, but good sources saying that Nerlens, not a good team player. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, word for word was, we all thought he was faking the injury until he got surgery. Yeah. He is not happy here. He wanted out. The first opportunity that he got back out on the court, 8 minutes, sure, but you're just coming back from injury, as Brett Brown pointed out. I mean, you just joined the team. Mm-hmm. He found out you were playing in that game 20 minutes before you guys suited up, and you're complaining about playing time. Easy, Nerlens. He was just waiting for that opportunity to jump out there and get out. And there's even about a fault to go around for everybody. Yeah. For Colangelo not pulling the trigger on a deal, for thinking that Nerlens is going to be a good soldier throughout the course of this. Mm-hmm. For even drafting Jahlil Okafor in the beginning. But I had no problem with that, but that's just revisionist history. Yeah. There's some people out there floating the Porzingis idea. Good luck with that.
At the time.
Yeah,
it's easy to look backwards, but
nobody was saying
I cut you off.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
Yeah, keep
going. No, and there's even amount of blame to go all the way around. But here we are, and this is what I know. I want to see Nerlens and Embiid play together.
Yes!
And we're not getting
Yes, because you got to show them off, too, for potential trade suitors.
It's a good point. And I don't even know why they're not, like it was in their minds of like, dude, Nerlens Noel is out, Ja, you're in. And I think that had something to do, obviously, with the contract coming up this offseason. We're like, no matter what, we're not giving Nerlens Noel this money, so we got to get rid of him. Well, they needed to act and make that move. Mm-hmm. They didn't, so there's blood on hands all the way around. And right now, I'm sorry, you got the trade deadline that's coming up. Nerlens has to be dealt, or else you get nothing from him in the offseason.
Yeah. And just to kind of switch subject just a little bit, from what I'm seeing, it's a limited sample size. But what I'm seeing with Joel Embiid and Jahlil Okafor, I don't know if I really like this pairing that much. Because Joel Embiid is on the perimeter a lot. I want to see him on the block. I want to see him, that mid-range game that I've been seeing. And we were talking before the show. He's out there thinking he's a point guard. He's not Ben Simmons. He's 7'2". He's a center. He's a banger on the block. Sure.
I'm telling you, I thought they were going to run give and go one day. I was like, what is going on right now?
So sure, he's got that outside shot in the bag, but it's not it's not his main weapon.
No, it's not. It's not what you want.
Yeah.
And I want Ja down low. I want him around the rim, protecting the rim, pulling down boards, and he's doing an amazing job. Wow, is he legendary right now? I'm not scared to say it. Like, I love watching Joel Embiid play. When he's diving in the first row, stepping on people, putting it back out on Instagram, saying, look at this guy trying to take a picture of me. I love everything about Joel Embiid. I know we all do. Fingers crossed he just remains healthy. But Nerlens Noel situation, they got to make moves. That's as simple as that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about this. Now, we're going to do a show next week, so we're going to have a little, recap of 2016.
Yeah.
But before we do that, give me that one sports story from 2016 that will stick with you.
One shining moment, Chris Jenkins at the buzzer. Villanova basketball, and to think that they might be able to do it again. The way that they play as a team, the way that they defend. They got a lot of players back too. Phil Booth, Chris Jenkins. I mean, obviously Ryan Arcidiacono isn't there anymore, but a lot of talent on this team. Obviously this year, a lot more competition. Kentucky, Duke of the world, but Villanova is very formidable, and they might go back to back. That's my story. I
agree with that. And my 2016 sports moment that will stick with me, or whatever series, LeBron and the Cavs. You look at how good the Golden State Warriors were.
Yeah.
And they broke the record, 73 and what, 9? Was that
73-9, yeah.
Steph, Clay, we go down the list. We all know. And what they did, obviously they bounced back against Oklahoma City. And I know that Cleveland has some good ball players. I know Kyrie's good, Kevin Love is good. So, JR had a nice role. But LeBron put that team on his back.
Oh, yeah.
Went back to the city. Told you he was going to win a championship. Did. It is one of the most amazing sports stories ever. Not just 2016, ever. And for the first time in my life, I'm an MJ guy. He's on that block. He's on that block. He's not even on the doorstep. He's not at the house. Nothing. Yeah. But in that conversation, LeBron is in the neighborhood.
Yeah. And he's not walking up to the door yet.
He's not walking up to the door.
Not ringing the bell.
I don't think he will ever. Because,
I don't think so either.
Michael was perfect 6 for 6.
Yeah.
6 finals MVPs. He didn't miss.
Yeah.
And he played against some really good teams. The Utah Jazz, really good. Back-to-back years. But LeBron, what he did in that series, like I said, one of the best sports stories. And going back to Cleveland, telling you I'm going to win it, all that. One of the best sports stories of all.
And you got the moment, too, with the block from behind. I mean, there's your image for 2016. Cubs, too, just to throw it out there. All right, it's final thoughts time. What is your final thought for
Final thought? Well, I just want to say this. 2016 was somewhat of a shit show.
Yeah.
I just want to say peace and love out there. All right, everybody. 2017, let's all come together. I know politics really want to drive us, in the middle and separate us, but we got to stop all that. We need to come together. We got to start worrying about the things that we can control. Less outrage, more love. Okay,
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah, I'm my final thought, Leonard Fournette and Christian McCaffrey not playing in their bowl games. I would have really loved to see Leonard Fournette go against Lamar Jackson in the Outback Bowl. I would have loved to see that. Is it the Outback Bowl or are they playing in the Citrus Bowl? Whatever the bowl is, I wanted to see them go head to head.
That's why they're not playing.
Yeah. There's too many bowl games.
It really is.
North Texas, 5 and 7 is in a bowl game this year. There's 41 of them. That's astronomically way too many. But yeah, that's for me. I wanted to see Leonard Fournette play. I'm a bowl game guy. I watch most of them, but some of these, man, Army versus North Texas. You had Louisiana Lafayette versus Southern Miss, a pair of 6-6 teams over the weekend. I don't want to watch that.
No. Yeah, I mean, Jalen Smith.
That's why they're not playing. Yeah, exactly.
And I can't blame them on that.
It's unfortunate.
It's not. It's a running back position. If you were a linebacker, I would say that too. But offensive line, quarterback, you should play. But running backs, they're going out there trying to kill you. So
I get it, but it's just unfortunate.
I agree with you all the way around.
Oh.
Good stuff as always.
Yes, sir.
We're back at it next week for a little 2016 recap right here on The Verdict.
Deuces.